Hi guys, Cidsa here. As a long-time video game collector, I've learned a lot about this hobby, and I decided to make this series in order to share my knowledge with you guys. Alright, for the very first video of this series, I wanted to start from the very bottom. So, if you haven't started yet, or if you've only been doing this for a short while. So I've broken this down into 6 questions that you should ask yourself before you begin. Alright, number 1. What systems do you want to collect for? Starting with systems that you already own is generally a really good place to start, as you've already invested the time and money into the hardware necessary to play those games. If there are other systems you want to get into, it's helpful to make a list of what you want. That way you can figure out exactly what hardware you're gonna need before you buy the games. Alright, number 2. Do you want complete sets? What I mean by complete set is some collectors try to collect every game from a certain system that exists. Now, this can be relatively easy when it's a console like the Casio Loopy, which had about 11 games made for it, and it's a hell of a lot harder when you talk about the NES, which has thousands. If you do want a complete set, you also kind of need to decide if you want to go for super rarities, prototypes, and other games like that. So do you want to get all the regular release games, or do you need to find the Nintendo Championship card? If you do, you better have a lot of money. Number 3. Would you rather just look for things that you like instead of a complete set? This is actually how I collect. I just collect games that I want to play that I really love. I don't really limit myself to specific systems or sets. I just buy the things that I like. This can lead to like weird little niches in my collection where I have 9 Neo Geo games, but then like 400 PS2 games. But this way I don't end up with really terrible games. Alright, number 4. What is my budget for gaming? Being aware of what you can realistically afford is always really important in this hobby. It's super easy to see completely amazing things at a store or online and really go overboard. I've done it before myself, but honestly, even having that awesome game when you're broke doesn't quite make up for it. If you have a lower budget, it's better to go for systems that are on the lower end. So go for a PlayStation 1 instead of a Neo Geo, or maybe a NES instead of a CDI. Oh god, get anything but the CDI. Don't do it. Do keep in mind that a lot of these older systems are, well, old. So they're gonna need maintenance, and sometimes they'll just break. Dreamcasts are pretty well known for the motors just dying horribly, while Atari 2600s tend to keep going for ages and ages and ages. You can get repairs and replacement parts, but sometimes it's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to just replace the system completely. At this point, if your PS2 dies, you might as well just get another one. It's much cheaper than buying a new laser or a new motor. Alright, so number 5. How am I going to store these games? Once you buy the games, obviously you need to store them somewhere, so keep in mind how much space you actually have. If you live in a single room, it's probably not a great idea to go really crazy, because where are you going to put them all? I mean, you could sleep on games, I guess. Now, there are a lot of creative ways to store games, and I'm going to be making a video about this in the near future, so watch out for that one. Alright, number 6. Think about insurance. Insurance. The very last thing that anyone ever wants to think about. I mean, who wants to really think about all their prized possessions going up in flames or being buried in a flood? Hello, Jojo. Do you like video games? Oh, good, Jojo. But if you have a collection that's worth anything, then you should absolutely be looking this up. Or even if you plan to have a collection that's going to be worth anything. This is probably the most overlooked factor of having a valuable collection, but it's definitely one you shouldn't forget about. Alright, so that was my 6 questions to ask yourself before you start collecting. What do you guys think? Is there anything else you would add? Are there any questions about collecting specifically that you want to know about? Let me know in the comments below. Please hit like and subscribe for more of this, and also game reviews and other things like that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!